There was never a problem with Rainbow Dash's speed. Her constant training regime, consistent skill in adapting her techniques, and overall awesomeness had always attributed to her being the best. Her need for speed was known across the world. Her travels throughout it with her friends and the Wonderbolts had shown as such. Most of the time, it felt like the world was against her. The slow, methodical nature of her surroundings constantly clashing with the culture of Ponyville and her natural tendencies. Even Cloudsdale's culture moved at an incredibly, exceptionally average speed. And this was why Dash's night flights were so important to her, especially considering she only had a select cast of individuals that could keep up with her tempo. Occasionally, a Wonderbolt would join her for a race or chat. Soren had been the most frequent as of late, and she hadn't had any complaints about his company. Yet, with a wind running through her mane and a box of wheat fries in her hoof, she couldn't complain about anything at the moment. Rainbow Dash weaved in and out, performing aerials and dive bombing through the clouds. There was nothing to keep her from doing a fantastic sonic rainbow. She might as well give the locals something to gaze at that night. It was the least she could do for her loyal fans. So she did. Rainbow's waves sped towards the horizon in all directions, splitting dozens of clouds into nothing. The clouds continued to disperse until the sky was empty except for Rainbow Dash, the moon, stars, and a displeased police pony. Wait. Rainbow Dash squinted her eyes, halting her electric dive bomb to focus on the shape moving her way. The Pegasus was shaking his head slowly, an evident, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed," body language exuding from them. One hoof sported some device, while the other held a pad with markings across it.
Good evening, Miss Dash.
The police pony began the conversation. Rainbow Dash wasn't able to tell what their facial features were showing. Their eyes were covered with a pair of dark aviators. Strange, considering it was midnight. And a well-kept mustache.
Hey, officer! Donuthauser? How's it going?
Rainbow didn't let the strange interaction keep her from keeping a potential fan from meeting her.
I can't say I've ever given a police pony an autograph. But hey, I am the police around here.
She tried to keep eye contact when he replied, but her eyes couldn't pull away from the chocolate-sprinkled donut topped with a patrol cap that adorned his flank. How fitting.
Well, Miss Dash, were you aware of how fast you were going?
Pretty freaking fast. Can't do one of those patented sonic rainbows if I wasn't.
She gave a bump to his shoulder, to no reaction.
I'm sure that's why you've got one of those devices in your hoof. Gotta show all those naysayers that don't believe I can actually go that fast, huh?
Still nothing. Tough crowd. Officer Donuthauser let out a tired sigh.
As much as I would love to go home and brag to my kids about their idol being a lawbreaker, I'm afraid this meeting is purely business.
It looked like Rainbow Dash wasn't getting a new fan anytime soon. That was fine. She already had plenty. She was sure Donuthauser was just shy anyways. No one came around at midnight for business, unless it was asking for a discount on her merchandise.
Alright, dude, I got ya. What can the coolest element do for you?
Rainbow draped a hoof over the shoulder of the officer. She patted his back.
Look, since we've had a great interaction so far, I'd be glad to do a flyover for your kids. I'll even throw in a discount. We'll just say it's for our service ponies.
Miss Dash.
She kept patting him on the back, not letting him continue.
Okay, yeah. Think of it like this, dude. We get to use the money that you saved for the add-on of having me in my Wonderbolt uniform. No deal breaker for most. Just saying.
Miss Dash, you are aware the speed limit here is 50 miles an hour, correct?
The officer said, beginning to scribble on an empty page.
The what?
Speed limit.
What?
Speed?
Yeah, I get that part. It's like my second middle name.
Limit.
Nah, can't be. Princess Egghead would have told me. She's a stickler with that.
Rainbow Dash chuckled. This guy had to be one of those deadpan kind of funny ponies. Officer Donuthauser finished scribbling, handing her the piece of paper. He didn't stop there, describing the contents while he handed it to her.
These limits have been here since before Princess Twilight arrived in Ponyville. In fact, the cloud signs would still be up if these weekly escapades, strangely all taking place on a Saturday, didn't single-handedly increase the town's taxpayers' monthly payments.
Dash choked on the air. It had to have been the height they were at. Certainly not the price that was written at the bottom of the ticket.
Look, officer, I don't think this is legal to give me anyways.
He cocked an eyebrow.
Do tell.
So,
Rainbow poured on the nervousness. After this, who would say she didn't know how to spin a story?
when I did my first Sonic Rainboom, as a kid, I'm sure you've heard by now.
Right.
She gave her forehead a good rub, playing her part.
Well, seems being the first pony to break the sound barrier has some side effects. And after the first month of my parents keeping me inside, they didn't know what they were doing. So I don't blame them, officer. I literally vibrated through one of the walls.
His eyebrows somehow levitated above his forehead.
And after I got taken to the doctor, lifesavers, I'll tell ya, they prescribed me weekly rainbows to settle my elections.
Electrons?
Or whatever, yeah.
Rainbow Dash nodded to herself.
It's a medical condition, Officer Donuthauser. I think you can keep this on a DL, right? Just between two public servants, of course.
And where's the proof of this, Miss Dash?
The police pony hadn't changed their expression. Dash had at least confirmed that his glasses weren't transition lenses at least.
I'm sure a prestigious and world-renowned pony such as yourself would have such identification on you.
Rainbow Dash drew a sharp breath through her teeth.
I gotta say, officer, you caught me on a bad day.
Did I now?
Dude, trust me, 9 times out of 10, I'm on it.
She smashed her hoof in the air, enunciating her words.
Tonight, though, sorry, I left the card in my other pants.
You're not wearing any pants, Miss Dash.
Officer Donuthauser deadpanned.
You can either pay for the Ponyville Castle or contest on the date written on the back. Please slow down, maybe get yourself a Peloton or one of those Zumba workouts that Zecora is recommending. Just stay safe, Miss Dash. Next time, I can't be as lenient.
Dash let out a defeated sigh. She had officially gotten her second ticket. Apparently, gotta go fast wasn't a medical condition. Just as much as breaking and entering in a hospital to get a daring do book wasn't fostering literacy. Thank you for listening, every pony. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to know when I post more content like this. Feel free to follow me on TikTok, Patreon, X, and Discord. Links in the description. And should you want to join my new nation, feel free to join the Shade Hollow, my Discord server. Good night, every pony.